Hey, Haley.
Hello.
All right. It's been a minute since I've taught like this. I was so excited. All right. Welcome to Heart Medicine class. I am so excited and there's a lot to cover. So I'm going to jump in to make sure we can get everything and have some fun at the end to, play with the medicine. So what we're going to do, we're going to tap into our heart center, go over the heart anatomy and physiology, some heart dysfunctions, and look at it energetically through Chinese medicine a bit, go over the herbs for the heart that I gave you, and then make some medicine. So like I said, we got a lot to do, but I think it'll be fun. Does everyone have their pad and paper to write on, to take notes? Yeah. All right, you guys are doing great. I've never had it where everyone just automatically comes on and keeps their cameras on, but please do. It makes it so much easier to teach to boxes of faces, and it's like the best thing to be able to share the energy, even though we're through the computer. So thank you guys for that. Also, there are no stupid questions. I'm a big question asker, so any question you have, just throw it in the chats. Or let me know, because it won't pop up on the chat. So if you put something in the chat, Michael, do you want to be able to like read if someone writes something in the chat for me? Let me know if something goes in the chat. Can you be my gal? Otherwise, you can just unmute yourself and be like, wait, I have a question, and we will answer it. And if I don't know, we'll find out. Also have pen and paper ready to take notes. There's going to be a lot of information, okay? About me. I'm Herb Lady Katie. I grew up in California, Los Angeles. My mom is an acupuncturist and went back to school when I was a kid to study Chinese medicine. So we always kind of grew up with natural things. She always went to the natural Indian market for anything that came up with my sister and I. And then while she was in school, most dinner table conversations were like, what is the flavor of this organ and what is paired with this? And that's just kind of how we grew up. So I feel very privileged to already automatically look at the body from a really holistic lens. And then I moved to New York City for college, and it was like the stark contrast of city life that really made me like want plants around. And I was very synchronistically led to an herbal path that focused on weeds and foraging and simples. And I wanted to be a midwife, but then I got pregnant. And so I was like, well, we'll go about it this way instead. And so motherhood initiated me into my herbal path for sure, like hardcore. And I have not looked back since. I was a birth doula and childbirth educator and placenta encapsulator for a while. Throw a little astrology around anywhere I can. And I'm a mom to a little boy who's about to turn 10 and a guardian to teenager. Just some herbal facts. If I had to choose just one, my favorite tonic would be a nettle overnight infusion. This is the hardest, but if I had to choose one oil, it would be plantain. And my favorite flower to drink is red clover. Y'all can type yours in the chat so I can learn about you guys too. So we can do some brief introductions, who you are, where you're from, where in the world you are, and what made you take this class. Just go around briefly so we can kind of get to know each other, see why we're here. Who wants to go first? Haley, go.
I'm Haley. What was the questions again?
Who are you? Where are you? Why are you here?
Okay. I'm Haley. I know I said that already. I'm from Auburn, Alabama. I know Katie. So I took this class because I already took Katie's herbalism class, and I was like, we're going to be making more medicine, and that's exciting. And also because I want to support Katie, and also because I need some heart medicine.
Right.
So that's kind of, yeah.
I'm excited that you're here.
I'll go. My name's Macon. I live near Asheville, North Carolina. And I had a baby in June, and I just feel like my capacity's grown. And with that, it comes from the heart. And I actually had some pregnancy losses prior. So I just feel like heart healing is going to be a lifelong journey for me. And I'm an amateur herbalist, so I've made my own medicine, but I feel like to have some instruction will be great too. So I'm really grateful to be here.
I'm happy you're here.
I'll go next. My name is Amelia, not Chicken Nugget. And yeah, I've been like in and out of hospitals my whole life with various issues, like from autoimmune to other random things. And I've found that the things that help me the most are herbs. So I feel very called to learning more and to hopefully one day be like Katie. And yeah, I'm from Kansas City, Missouri. Yeah. But yeah, I'm from Kansas City, Missouri, so it's not a very exciting place. Thank you.
Hey, I live in Auburn, Alabama. It's not an exciting place either. Thank you. You're Capricorn, right?
Are you?
No, my moon is Capricorn, but I listened to your
Hey.
podcast. So, yeah, when's your birthday?
Thank you. December 29th. Yeah. What are you?
Sagittarius.
I
listened to you did a podcast and you were interviewing a girl who was Sagittarius, and I was like, I really get this girl. I like her. And then she was like, I'm Sagittarius. I was like, that's right. Of course she is.
I love Sagittariuses.
Who's next?
I'll go next.
Hi. Oh, yes.
Oh, I'll cut someone off. Excuse me. My name's Steven, and I live in Connecticut, and started following Katie, just interested in herbs and looking for products and whatever. I haven't done a lot with preparation. I've grown some plants, but pretty interested in it, and been chatting with her about that ever since. And I'm excited to check out this class and learn more.
Very glad to have you.
Hi, I'm Miranda from Long Island, New York. I started playing with medicine probably about a year ago, but I wanted more of direction in a class. So, yeah.
I'm so excited you're here. I learned so much from you on Instagram too. So I'm glad you're here.
I learned a lot from you too.
Okay.
I was like, you know you're up.
Okay, so my name is Michael. I'm originally from Japan, but I moved to California when I was 20 and moved to Washington, D.C. 21 years ago. It has been crazy. I met Katie through a mutual friend on Instagram, and I was checking, when did I meet Katie? I was going back all the posts and pictures, and I found out it was at least 5 years ago, which is crazy. I think Lennox was turning 5 at the time I met you. So I've known Katie.
It was before Jamaica, right? So it has to
definitely
be more than 5 years. That was 5 years ago.
Yeah. So I've been pushing Katie to do this herb thing because, I mean, she's the best. So I'm so excited to be here.
I'm so happy you're here.
Yeah.
All right, Steph. You made it. Who are you? Where are you? And why are you here?
Hi, sorry I'm late. I'm Stephanie. I'm in Queens, New York, and I'm here because I just want more herbal knowledge from Katie. I took her class previously, uh, beginners herbalism, and to kind of just get more acquainted um, with herbalism. Like I have a pretty good background with it, but I wasn't very confident. And I knew that there was so much more that I needed to learn. And I knew that Katie was the person to do that for me. And I love you. And I just really wanted to do this class and just keep going on that journey.
Yes. I'm so excited you and Haley, you're here, because I was putting it together. I was like, they're going to get it. And while I was getting my jars, look, this is my, Stephanie also has a company that makes a business that makes really great products. This was mine. I actually just got my box today. So excited. I'm going to be all up in the bath. All right. I'm so excited for you to be here. My heart is very open and happy. Let's see. We've got, all right. Your favorite oil is lavender and tonic is oat straw. Oh, oat straw is in top 3 for sure. Oat straw definitely got me pregnant. So, you know. We love that one. Let's share
What was
this.
the category? It was tonic, oil, and there was another one.
My favorite flower to drink. But you can do whatever. Just tell me anything you like about herbs. Well, this is like Herb Geek Central. Like we're in it. We can talk. There we go. All right. All right, so to kind of get our frequency going and tap us all into our heart centers, we're gonna just start with a brief meditation, a breath together, just for about 2 minutes, so we can tap energetically into the same heart frequency, all right? So if you were in the sadhana, then you'll know this one, it's an eternal favorite, but it speaks to the sympathetic and parasympathetic nervous system and centers us into our heart center. So put your left hand over your heart and put your right hand in Gyan Mudra with your pointer finger to your thumb and have it up here. What you'll do is you'll breathe in slowly, completely, and hold the breath as long as you can. And then you'll exhale fully, hold the breath out, and continue this rhythm. In, hold, out, hold. In, hold, out, hold, okay? Have your eyes closed. And we're just gonna do this for 2 minutes to tap us into the same frequency for our hearts, all right? And begin. And cleansing breaths. All right, y'all, let's jump in. All right, basic anatomy and physiology. This, might be common knowledge, but I think it's important for us to go over how the heart works, all of its parts, for us to really understand why we're using the herbs and the best way to apply them when we're going to make some medicine, right? All right. So this is our heart, this beautiful, amazing organ. So the heart has 4 inner chambers. It's got 2 sides and 4 chambers. The right atrium and the right ventricle, and the left atrium and the left ventricle. So it has 2 upper chambers and 2 lower, which are the ventricles. When we're looking at the heart, we see that the veins carry the blood to the heart and the arteries carry the blood away from the heart. Let's look at this a little more. So the right side of your heart, it receives the oxygen, poor blood from the veins and pumps it to, can you guys see all these little faces over here or no? No? Okay, I'm gonna shut it so I can see. So the right side of the heart receives the oxygen, poor blood from your veins and pumps it to your lungs. So it comes from the inferior and superior vena cava into the right atrium, then goes to the right ventricle, and then goes from the pulmonary. Everything with the pulmonary is connected to the lungs. And it's an artery, so it's taking it away from the heart. So it's going into the lungs, okay? And then it will get oxygen and get rid of carbon dioxide and then come back through the pulmonary veins, because the veins go to the heart, and it will go into the left atrium and the left ventricle and then go out the aorta, okay? So in through the veins, the right side, out to the lungs, in through the veins, out through the aorta, okay? So this is what it's like. It's just a beautiful mechanism that is a pump, okay? In, pumps it, out and in. And it's important to know that it's all about going to the lungs to get the oxygen, okay? When it comes in through the veins, the blood does not have the oxygen, it does not have the pressure, it's not coming in as strong as when it goes out through the aorta, full of oxygen, ready to just give all of that blood to all of our body, okay? We're gonna go over this just briefly. So these are the layers of the heart wall, right? There's the inner layer, the endocardium, and the myocardium, the muscular middle layer, okay? And the epicardium, the outer protective layer of the heart, okay? Keep this in mind when we're gonna talk about some of the dysfunctions to understand the layers that are going to have the different issues. Okay, we have a repeat, excuse me. Okay, so when it goes through the aorta, you can see over here, all the red are the arteries. It's going up to the brain, it's going down here, all around, and the blue is the veins. The blood is going all the way back up. We can't really talk about the heart without also thinking about the blood and the vessels and the fact that and how it's circulating through our body. Over here, we can see that major organs that are connected with how the heart is working are the lungs. Obviously, we said that the pulmonary arteries take it there and then bring it back to oxygenate it. But we also have to look at the kidneys. The kidneys are so key, and oftentimes if you have heart issues, you will also see issues with the kidney and vice versa. The kidneys they control the blood volume and concentration, the excretory of the blood, and 20% of our cardiac output daily goes through the kidneys. So the kidney health is very much linked to heart health and vice versa. Also, the liver cleanses the blood, and in traditional Chinese medicine, it's considered a holder of the blood. So as we look at herbs, keep these in mind because there's going to be certain herbs that will speak to the kidneys and certain herbs that will speak to the liver to help us understand how to better serve the heart, because we're also going to be talking to the blood as well. Okay. And also you can see the brain. So that's just the basic anatomy. The heart is a pump. It has 4 chambers. The right side of the heart pumps to the lungs, and the left side of the heart pumps through the aorta to the rest of the body. The veins carry the blood to the heart, and the arteries carry the blood away from the heart. Does that make sense? Do we have any basic questions on that? All right, now bonus. What plant is that?
Hawthorn? No, rose hips.
Rose hips, yes, good job. That's my favorite game. Guess the plant. No, name that plant. All right, now let's look at the dysfunctions of the heart. We know what it does, we know its parts, basic. And now let's see the 3 main issues that plague most of our country, okay? So number 1 is, let me move this, atherosclerosis. It's also coronary artery disease, okay? So this is the buildup of fats, cholesterol, and other substances in and on the artery walls, okay? So this is what a normal or ideal artery looks like. And this is an artery with plaque buildup. So it often doesn't have any symptoms until there's a plaque rupture, which is like something comes and knocks this off and then it's floating in the arteries. Or this gets so thick that there's an effect on the blood flow, okay? This is not something that happens overnight. This is something that happens over a long time. And here, the second one is high blood pressure. So there's 3 factors that affect the blood pressure. One is the cardiac output, and the other is blood volume. The third is resistance, right? So when there's a resistance to the output and the volume of blood. So when we see this is that the flexibility of the artery wall. So when the blood comes out of the aorta is elastic, it's flexible. So as the heart pumps the blood to make room for that flux of blood, the artery, the aorta can kind of like balloon out to make room. And so if there's significant plaque buildup, the artery loses that elasticity. That affects the pressure, right? The heart has to work harder to get that same amount of blood through. Also the artery diameter, like I said, it's stretchy and elastic. So this is what the normal vessel would look like, but this is when there's the damage, right? And so blood viscosity also, if the blood is thick, then it's not going to flow the same way. So we oftentimes see issues between high blood pressure and kidneys because blood viscosity is very much controlled by the kidneys, okay? On my list of the amazing things the kidneys do. Yeah, because it's the concentration, the volume of blood, and what's in it, and the ability to excrete what doesn't need to be there. So these things all affect the blood pressure because the blood cannot get through as easily, so the blood has to work a lot harder. So what happens is that inflammation causes damage of the artery walls. This can cause like an aneurysm or a break. And when the walls are damaged, all of the things floating through like cholesterol, fats, calcium, they start going right to that damage, okay? And then they collect more and they collect more. And what happens is then there's an inflammatory response. So white blood cells go there, creates this, they call it like a foam, and then it starts to harden and creates the plaque. So that's, like I said, it's not going to happen overnight. It's something that bit by bit, it grows, it grows, it grows. And then we don't have the elasticity. We don't have it narrows. So blood pressure rises. What then happens is that something comes and knocks the plaque off, and then it just flows, and it'll get cause like a blood clot. So if it's a blood clot going towards the brain, you have a stroke. If it's a blood clot going to the heart, you have a heart attack. And again, because like I said, those things are very much connected to the kidneys, this is also connected to kidney disease. We will rarely have heart problems and not also have kidney problems. They go hand in hand. Okay, this makes sense?
I have a question. What would when you said like something might knock the clog, what would cause it to knock? Like what would
Like any of those things that would naturally get stuck to it, that just comes in, just bumps it off, and it just flows downstream until it stops flowing downstream or upstream.
Gotcha.
Yeah, it's any of those things, because it starts to become plaque, like hardened kind of. And that's why there's no space. So to get through, get enough pressure, it's gonna have that effect. Does that make sense?
Thank you.
So the third dysfunction of the heart is heart failure. Okay, so here, this is why I showed the 3 layers of the heart, because this is very much connected to the thick middle layer, the myocardium, which is the muscle. So heart failure is weakness of the ventricle walls. So you can see in this one, either they're too weak, right? And when that muscle is too weak, it can't pump enough blood. So think like if you have a water bottle and it's full and you can get a good pump, you go like this and all the water flows out, right? So this is like you just squeeze, you can't squeeze it all the way. So you never get that full stream of water being able to come out. So that's what happens when the walls get too weak. The other side, as you can see here, they get too thick. And here you can see that there's not getting as much blood in the ventricles to send out. So here, not enough is able to get out. Here, not enough is coming in to send out. So either way, the blood flow is significantly diminished. There's not getting enough oxygen in the blood. And then what happens is that the nervous system sends stress hormones to the heart to try and have it pump harder. But that, further stresses the heart muscle out and causes more damage to the muscle walls of the heart, okay? So we can have it where the blood pressure comes because there is problems with its flow, or we have the actual heart muscle that is not able to properly get the blood out. So then see, it has congestion. The blood is not getting enough oxygen. Then we have problems that can't get everywhere. All right, so we'll put this together. Atherosclerosis is the buildup of fats, cholesterol, and other substances in and on the artery walls, which leads to plaque buildup. The elasticity of the arteries is diminished. Blood flow is diminished. High blood pressure is the disruption to the flow of blood also that causes the heart to have to work harder to pump the blood. Heart failure is the weakness of the muscles of the heart. This makes sense? We understanding how the heart works and how we have our basic issues? You're gonna get all your faces then. All right, yeah? All right, what's that plant?
Rose petals.
Yes, I was gonna say that one's easy, y'all. All right, so we understand the parts of the heart organ, where it goes, where it flows to, its important stations in the kidneys and the liver, and the main issues that we face. Okay. Now, this is my favorite part. Now let's look at the energetics of the heart, okay? Because when we come back to the herbs, we're going to be able to pull it together so that we can really use the herbs in an intentional way that can really benefit us physically and energetically. All right. Who here knows much about, oh, shoot. Who here, other than Haley and Stephanie, knows much about Chinese medicine organ pairings? Anybody? You can shake your head or nod your head. That's all I can tell. No? Okay. So in Chinese medicine, it's called Zhang Fu, and it's looking at the organs as a yin and a yang. There's a pairing of a yin organ and a yang organ. So the yin organs, they hold the energy, and the yang organs transport the energy. Okay, you can think yang is movement, it's going, and the yin is holding the frequency type of thing. So there's the heart is a yin organ, and it is paired with the yang organ of the small intestine. Other organ pairings is the liver is a yin organ, and it's paired with the gallbladder is its yang organ. Liver and gallbladder. Kidneys is a yin organ. Urinary bladder is its yang organ. The stomach and the spleen. I think the stomach is the yin organ. I always get them confused. And the spleen is the yang organ. And then the lungs is the yin organ, and the large intestine is the yang organ. But we're going to focus here on the heart and the small intestine. So think about, you wouldn't think that the heart and the small intestine, that's a strange pairing, but the small intestine, you know, it's taking all of our food and being able to then really get all the nourishment, get all the nutrients to create more blood, right? So the heart is always connected to the blood, and the small intestine is the transport. It's the ability to make that blood from all that we take into our body, okay? And in this organ pairing, everything is connected, right? It rules a tissue, it rules a sense organ, it rules a taste, a color, an emotion, a season. This is the kind of stuff my mother would quiz us on at the dinner table. My little sister was like 5 and she could tell you all this stuff. But so the heart and the small intestine, their sense organ is the tongue. So think like when things are hot inside, you get like those little like blisters on the tongue. I can't think of what they're called, you know? That's showing that there's a lot of heat inside. That's one way to see where there might be some inner heat that you would want to use different herbs to kind of balance. It rules the blood vessels, and it's the taste of bitter. So the emotion is joy, okay? So one of my favorite sayings to remember this is the more bitter you eat, the sweeter you will be. So if you're able to get all those good bitter herbs, you will have a sweeter disposition, or at least that's the goal, right? It rules its season is the summer. So this is the cardiovascular system, right? So you think it's sweat. It's being able to really get that heart pumping and moving and going, doing cardio exercise. It's summer, that's the best time, right? Each season has a different exercise that's ideal for that organ system and for what we're dealing with outside, because it's as above, so below, as within, so without, very much shows up in how we look at the organ systems and our general environment in Chinese medicine, okay? So in Chinese medicine, the heart governs the blood, both producing the blood, and the qi promotes the blood circulation. So that's its own yin and yang. Qi is the yang and blood is considered the yin. And so you need both. You need to have the yin blood as the nourishment, that nutrients, and then you need the qi to be able to move it around to get it everywhere. As I said, it's connected to the kidneys. Kidney 1 point is on the bottom of the foot. So you need to have that chi to be able to get the energy everywhere, to get it to the head, to get it to the extremities. Energetically, the heart governs what they call the Shen Ming. This is roughly translated to spirit brilliance. So I was reading up on this and I watched this video. I had never seen this, where she was talking about the original Chinese characters for Shen Ming. And one of them stems from a lightning bolt, right? So it's this lightning of energy, this lightning of being. And then the other one stemmed from what was pretty much an altar. Okay, so then now it looks different, but that was the original earliest writings of this character. And so we see like an altar and the lightning spark. So it's like spirit of brilliance, the external manifestation of all living activities. So that's our heart. It's not just this organ. It's the same way that, they've done all this energy mapping, that our heart, enters a room before us. Our electromagnetic field of our heart goes out at least 10 feet around us, right? So that's that Shen Ming, that energy, that life force. And if we think about it, when our blood can't get circulated, when it literally, the heart is failing, it's not able to get the energy out, our spirit can't be vibrant. It's harder for our spirit to be vibrant when we don't even have enough blood running through us. We want to fall asleep all the time. We don't have the energy. We don't have that spark. So Shen Ming is also spirit or consciousness in mind. It's our thinking ability. So remember that picture, it showed the kidneys was a big spot for the blood. The liver was a big spot for the blood, the lungs, and then also the brain. We will not be able to think about heart energy without also thinking about our brain energy, our mental abilities, okay? It is also said that blood is about the effortless acknowledgement of accomplishment. And this is our ability to see our self-esteem, to see our self-worth. And it's also our memory, that connection to the brain. So this is, think about that, the effortless acknowledgement of accomplishment, us being able to say, yes, good job. Yes, I can do this. Yes, I'm capable. That heart energy of like, yeah, I can go out here and I can take on the world. I have a powerful spirit, okay? So we must also, as we think about the physical attributes of the heart, think about the energy of it as well, okay? The dysfunctions of the heart, according to Chinese medicine, palpitations, circulation problems, poor sleep, mental confusion, and poor memory. And again, we're going to see how this is mimicked through the herbs. Anxiety, mania. These are different things we would say that there's a disharmony in the heart. Okay. So let's put it all together. The heart governs the blood flow and the production of blood. The heart is the house for our spirit brilliance. The heart and the minds / cognitive abilities are very much linked. It's paired with the small intestine. It's the flavor of bitter. Who can say some bitter herbs? Who wants to let us know? Let's get 3.
Dandelion.
Dandelion. It's OG, yeah. What else?
Burdock.
Burdock, that's what I was thinking, yes.
Angelica?
All right, look at 3 bitter herbs right there. Season is the summer, the emotion of joy. So remember, the more bitter you eat, the sweeter you'll be. Sana's messaged me. She's sending me videos, but she's supposed to be in the call. Any questions about the heart in Chinese medicine? No? All right, what's that plant? I've already actually done it, y'all. It's a rose. All right, now let's get into the fun stuff, all right? Herbs for the heart. So we're gonna break down the 6 herbs that I gave you, all kind of looking at the different aspects of using herbs for heart medicine, okay? So I'm going to go over some basic facts, kind of as if we were writing a monograph. So we're gonna go over like the actions, the phytochemistry, the plant family. Write down whatever you feel is relevant. You're gonna get a replay for this, and you'll be able to reference back. All right, number 1, hawthorn. This is in the rose family. Its actions are antioxidant, antiviral, and cardioprotective. The phytochemistry is, it's got vitamin C, bioflavonoids. I don't know how to say this correctly, so bear with me. I'm definitely just sounding it out. Procyanidins. It's one of those things I only ever read. And we use the flowers, the leaves, and the berries. We're going to be specifically talking about the benefits of the berries because that's what I sent you guys. But the flowers and leaves also have medicinal value. All hawthorns are medicinal. There's many different families, and they can all, there's many different species, and they can all be used in the same way. They might look a little bit different colors, but they can all be used the same way. So down here, something I want to talk about when we go over plants that are good for the heart is that many of them all have a boundary. So hawthorn is a small tree, a shrub, bush type of plant, and it has very long thorns. Okay, so let's think about this in a few ways. One, I like to think of the thorns as the plant having boundaries. You can't just go on up and just be like, oh, let me just get some of this. You will come out scraped, right? It will draw blood, okay? So it's important to think of that also in the boundaries we're trying to set up for our heart space, right? So over giving, overdoing everything for everybody. We think, oh, I'm loving, but that's depleting. We become martyrs. There's a lot of energy there that's not actually as pure because we don't have boundaries. The medicine for our heart says, hey, you need some boundaries for this to be healthy. So keep that in mind. Also, sometimes I think of it too, and we'll look at the next plant is really cute for this. I think of it as like going through like the arteries, just kind of like, I'm going to sound like my mother because she always uses this word, but like just getting all the garbuncles off the sides, right? Just like going through and saying, we're going to take this off, we're going to take this off, we're going to take this off. That's personally like what I picture as well in terms of how this works in the body, okay? Y'all give me a thumbs up when I can go to the next slide. Make sure you wrote everything down. Yes.
I have a question. How would you use the leaves? Like as a tea?
Yes.
Cool.
I've actually never used hawthorn leaves personally, but in doing like further research when I was doing my own monograph, all of them are, all of it is medicinal.
Awesome. We are planning one this year, so I'm glad to know.
Oh, that's so, oh.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to ask you questions about that off of this class because I'm trying to find some. All right. So the medicinal uses for hawthorn. It protects against the beginning stages of heart disease, protects against mild arrhythmia and mild heart attack and muscle weakness, heart muscle weakness. It also speeds the recovery from heart attack. It is said to help lower blood pressure and improves perfusion. So it's helping getting the blood moving, helping getting the heart working as best as it can. It strengthens and regulates the heartbeat. And this is one of the heart herbs that has an affinity for for the brain as it helps against Alzheimer's and other age-related memory problems. It dissolves cholesterol deposits and therefore fights atherosclerosis. To be noted, hawthorn is not like an overnight medicine, something that continued use is able to help its effects. This is one of like the primary herbs when we think about herbs for the heart, because it has just so much benefit. Yes, go for it.
Sorry for all the questions.
No, I told you I'm a question girl. Never too many.
So I have like low blood pressure in general. Would like if it lowers blood pressure, is that a concern if you already have low blood pressure?
I don't know. I didn't. Low blood pressure. So you know what? I did not see anything about that when I was doing like deeper research. I'd have to look into that. I didn't look much up in when you already have lower blood pressure.
I'm like healthy to low in, so it's not like I'm like dangerously low or anything, but I always when I see things that are like it lowers it.
I'm not sure. I'm thinking there's a specific video I watched and I know she mentioned it, but I really don't have a good memory of just hearing things once. I'll look it up and I'll also send that to you and then I can let you know. I'm not sure. Sorry, I don't know everything. It's a good question though. From what I was learning about it, it feels like it's a general heart tonic. So it's not going to, you know, like oftentimes when they study plants, they'll take this constituent out and study what that does. And they'll say, oh, it lowers the blood pressure. But when it's using the whole herb, oftentimes the synergy of the herb knows what it's supposed to do. Is it supposed to do this or that? And it can do either one based on what your body needs. And when we use whole herbs. So I would say generally, because it's known as a heart tonic, it probably wouldn't lower it further, but I would definitely, I'll check the resource that is in my mind. I know she mentioned it.
Yeah, that's my intuitive take, is it wouldn't do anything to damage the heart.
Yeah, it would just, because it's going to just make the heart generally stronger, your muscle able to do what it's supposed to be doing as effectively as possible. It would lower it if it's too high and has to, yeah. But I will look that up to clarify for you. Are we good on hawthorn? On to the next. All right. Motherwort. This plant and we're just becoming like serious besties lately. So this is of the mint family. Its actions, it's bitter. So again, it's for the heart. It's got the bitter flavor. It's astringent. It's a cardiac tonic. It's also a nervine. Most plants in the mint family have, like it says in the phytochemistry, volatile oils, and they tend to have a good sedative effect on smooth muscle tissues. And so motherwort is similar. And it's a uterine tonic as well. Uterus is another smooth muscle. So it's got alkaloids and volatile oils. You can use the leaves and the flowers. And you see my other picture of the thorns. Now, motherwort doesn't have thorns, but its little flowers, especially when it's dry, are very sharp and pointy. So if you're going and you're like, oh, let me collect seeds from this motherwort, and you think you're just going to go grab it, you will not. You will also be pricked. It will let you know that you must handle it with care. Okay, so another heart tonic herb that says have boundaries, handle with care. So where hawthorn had an affinity for the brain, motherwort has an affinity for the nervous system and the uterus. Keep these affinities in mind as we go to plan the medicine we'll make.
Katie,
Yes.
is mugwort considered bitter too?
Yes, very.
Thank you.
Y'all give me a thumbs up when it's time to go to the next slide. So motherwort, Leonaris cardiaca, in its name is like the lion-hearted, okay? I just love this plant. So it strengthens the heartbeat, but without increasing the pulse rate, right? So it, unlike those stress hormones that get sent when there's heart failure and then it makes it go more, but it like stresses it, this doesn't do that. It just strengthens the beat, doesn't make it go faster. It sedates and relaxes the coronary arteries, increases the circulation to the heart, helps irregularities of the heart caused by adrenal overstimulation and overactive thyroid. It's used for hyperthyroidism. And then of course it helps with PMS, cools hot flashes. One of my herbal teachers, she calls it bypass in a bottle. Energetically, it calms the heart, eases in grief, and is anti-anxiety. And it smells so good. I have it in some oil that I've been using. Just love it. I'm looking at the chat, which you might be able to see. Haley, your plantain oil too. Yes. Motherwort's gonna be your BFF. I'm telling you, I just ordered so many motherwort plants. That'd be my BFF too. All right, y'all let me know when I can go to the next one.
I have a question.
Yes.
So would motherwort, I see it helps a lot with like emotions, I guess. So would it be like a good like a good tincture or something to add to tea for like mood swings?
That's why it's helpful for PMS, because it absolutely has an effect on that. Because think about it, it works with the nervous system, so it helps calm you down. And it works for the heart, so it's got the energy to calm, and it's good for the uterus. So it's like all the things that kind of make you feel a little all over the place. It does have positive hormonal effects as well. It's definitely good for that.
Would it do the same that it does for a woman as it would a man?
Yeah, it doesn't have to go to your uterus. It still has the nervine qualities as well.
Okay, thank you.
All right, number 3, Ginkgo biloba. The Ginkgoaceae family is an antioxidant and oxygenator. It's got flavonoids, antioxidants. You can use the leaves, mostly yellow, but the green leaves are also beneficial. They are said to have more polyphenols, something like that, that are said to help prevent against ovarian cancer. So yellow are the most commonly used, but green are also coming out to show that they have significant benefits as well. And the fruit. Obviously, I sent you the leaves, so that's what we'll be using. So ginkgo stimulates circulation. It inhibits excessive clotting. And this is another one that has significant benefits for the brain. It helps slow cognitive delay and Alzheimer's, helps against anxiety and depression. The antioxidants help the brain, the eyes, and the cardiovascular system. And because it's an oxygenator, it just helps more oxygen be produced and then spread through the body. It helps the brain. And you have to think of the brain as an extremity, okay? So while we're trying to get the blood flow, oftentimes it'll just go where it has to go. If it doesn't have to get up and go, if it doesn't have the proper circulation, it won't go all the way to our hands. It won't go all the way to our feet. And it won't go to like the penis, right? That's another extremity. And that's why ginkgo biloba is often considered like an aphrodisiac. It helps get the energy going and flowing. So it flows to your brain, it flows to your genitals, it flows to your hands and feet. It keeps it going. And the flavonoids also help dilate the microcapillaries, okay? So ginkgo is a good one to have to help keep things going and to help with cognitive issues, Alzheimer's, etc. Oftentimes the plants that are considered aphrodisiacs, a lot of what they do is help with the circulation. So they help with, so you can be excited. So you can, you know, be in the mood and perform. Ginkgo also prevents free radical damage. Let me know when it's time to go forward.
Would you mind going back a slide just for 1 second?
Yes. Are you guys so excited? Doesn't talking about herbs make you excited? Are you guys as excited about me as me? I love plants. Like, our body is so amazing. The heart is just so phenomenal. And then these plants are just really designed to help our bodies work optimally. It's just so beautiful to me. Let me know when I can go. Was that you, Amelia? You good? All right, number 4 is lemon balm. In the mint family as well, a nervine, carminative, which means it can help with upset stomachs. It's antiviral, it's got flavonoids. Again, it's in the mint family. That's what causes that beautiful smell. So it's got volatile oils, polyphenolics. That's what I was trying to say also. Ginkgo has that. I use the leaves and the tiny little white flowers. Thumbs up when I can go ahead. Sorry, I said thumbs up and I looked away. All right, lemon balm, Melissa officinalis. So Melissa, the name of the herb, loosely translates to with the bees. It's known to uplift the spirits and the mood energetically. And it really does. I feel like I tell this story all the time, but it's one of my favorite oils, because when you just start rubbing it on your body, you just feel so happy, you feel so light, you feel so joyful. It really does uplift the spirit. So this plant helps against myocardial infarction, which is heart attack due to the lack of oxygen. It also, remember, it's a nervine. It helps with insomnia. It helps to relax. It has a positive effect with ADD. So does ginkgo, and I think that might be connected to those polyphenolics, whatever. And it's good for thyroid regularity, helps fight infections, and can cause digestive distress. Those carminative abilities. So this one is one that we will look to for connections and affinity for the nervous system, for helping you relax, like if there's a lot of anxiety or stress connected to the heart issues you're trying to heal. Or if you're looking, I know a few people were talking about wanting to make heart medicine also for a broken heart, right? For the grief of, this is another one that we would use in a formula for the energetic effects as well. And thumbs up when it's time. Number 5, rose. This is from the rose family. It's an astringent, antioxidant, anti-inflammatory. Has tannins, that's, you know, it's astringent. Volatile oils, flavonoids. You use the flowers or the fruit. The fruit would be the rose hips. We're going to be using the flower petals. And another one, the last of our herbs that has the thorns. You cannot just go into a rose bush and forage willy-nilly. They have boundaries. You must use with care. Proceed with caution. I ask people this question: how would you describe your heart, right? And I used to say it was like a rose. It could be medicine, or it could draw blood. I've shifted my answer a little bit recently, but it fit for a while. Let me know when we can go ahead. All right, rose. So if rose is one that has an affinity or affiliation with the lungs and helps respiratory issues such as pulmonary catarrh. So pulmonary, remember lungs, helps against tuberculosis. Also has an affinity to the womb, reduces PMS, cramping, and emotional disturbances with hormonal shifts and PMS. It's an antidepressant, helps against asthma. It's also connected to the feminine and helps calm the emotions of the heart. Let me know when we can go. So think about heart in terms of ways you want, again, like lemon balm, want to soothe the heart, or if it's connected to lung issues. The lungs in Chinese medicine, their emotion is grief. So it's also good both for physical healing of the heart as well as tapping into grief and getting to an emotional healing place with it. Look at this chat. Which one is your favorite tea to drink? Rose? Michael? I'm in the chat. Rose is your favorite? Yes, yeah. I know you you were the one that mentioned ginkgo fruit to me. Y'all gotta say this stuff. I get to the chat and I'm all late. Sanas, hi. Yes, it is. Rosewater is from this plant. I know. When I was you said Persians love it. I know. I was reading somewhere that they said like Iran or that area is where roses come from, and I thought of you. Because in a lot of those cultures, it's used in a lot of culinary dishes just as much as medicine.
Yes, thank you. That's really good confirmation, because that I haven't had like rose tea or anything like that, but the rose waters and different desserts and like different remedies.
Yes, and you know, it's also like it says an astringent. So astringent, so that comes from tannins. This is why I was excited for Stephanie and Haley to get here. We could put this stuff to real practice, what we learned in the course, right? So it's got tannins, and that's an astringent. So that like tightens tissue. So that's why we often use it on our skin.
Yes. My friend's mom, who's Iranian too, Shida's mom, told me this is like my secret to looking good at 70.
Yes.
Thank you. And I'm here for a few minutes just while I can. So thank you for having me.
I'm so happy you're here. So wait, tell us where you are. You're in California, yeah?
Oh, I missed introductions. Yes, I'm in, can you see me now?
Yes, now I can.
Okay, I'm in California, in Southern California.
Why'd you take
is there anything else I should share? I thought I never thought about the heart in this way. I think about the heart like I gotta exercise it and how big it is with like when you love people, self-love. And I think my heart is big, as you know from today when I called you.
The
So I'm
biggest heart, I
learning to-
know. Yeah.
I'm trying to learn to balance it in healthy ways. Um, and then I saw your notes for the connection to the different organs, and then when we've had family members with heart attacks, which unfortunately has been recently the case. And then when I thought back, I was like, oh, that's what my grandma passed away from, who I didn't get to meet. So all of that brought me here.
I love it. I'm so happy you're here. Sanas is my best friend in the whole world. And she's, look at it, we've known each other for almost 20 years, and now I finally got her in an herb class. Hey.
It only took 20 years. Just kidding. I loved every time you taught me, but now I have more resources from your Katie's Garden.
All right. Thank you for being here, Sanas. All right, last herb is Damiana. So this is not necessarily 100% a heart herb. This one falls a little bit more into the aphrodisiacs, but we're having some fun. I don't know what y'all want to create with these medicines. Can create a whole lot of things. And so this is anti-inflammatory, anti-ulcer. It's got volatile oils, tannins, resins. We use the leaves. So interesting, in yellow tends to be herbs that also support the liver. So we can see that with this, and maybe like the yellow leaves of the ginkgo, so that we're also supporting the liver, which has such an important part of the blood cleansing, and therefore the heart. All right, so Damiana improves sexual function, stimulates the nerve, is a stimulating nerve tonic. So when we look at nerve tonics, some are stimulating and some are sedating. This is one that is stimulating. So it's stimulating to the genitals, blood circulation, metabolism, helps against impotence and reduce sex drive, and also negative menopausal symptoms such as hot flashes. Also a urinary tract helper. So in Chinese medicine, our essence is in our kidneys. So we lose our essence. For women, it's through childbirth. For men, it's through ejaculation. So obviously, the way our culture supports men kind of having lots and lots of sex without understanding the life force behind it. And the kidneys are connected to the urinary bladder. It's interesting how you can see this herb helps the urinary tract, but also helps with impotence, right? If you've lost so much of that kidney essence that you have, this plant kind of helps with that energy. It's also something that consistent use helps get the results, the best results. All right, thumbs up when we can go. Good. All right. So hawthorn helps strengthen the heart overall, slow long-term use, and has an affinity for the brain. Motherwort is bypass in a bottle, affects the, pardon those typos, affects the nervous system and has an affinity for the womb. Ginkgo oxidates and helps the circulation, affinity for the brain and extremities. Lemon balm relaxes, is antiviral and affinity for the nervous system. Rose is an astringent, calms emotions, is an affinity for the lungs and the womb. Damiana helps circulation, menopausal symptoms, and aphrodisiacs. So keep this in mind for what you want to use these herbs for. Any questions? All right, this one's a little bit hard. Can anybody guess what plant that is, or at least what plant family it's from?
Is it marshmallow?
Yes. Well, this one is Rose of Sharon, but yes, right family. Yes. All right, let's make some medicine. Can we take a quick bio break? I want to, my kids are so quiet. They're big, so that's not as terrifying as when they're little, but I want to go check. So get all your supplies, your vodka, your honey, your jars, your herbs, and we will be back in like 2 minutes, okay?
Katie, are all these herbs okay to use consistently?
Trying to figure out how to unmute myself. Yes. Generally, for me, when it comes to herbs, I like to use herbs that don't have tons of side effects. They're not high levels of toxicity. And if I'm going to send herbs to people or talk about them, generally, they're going to be pretty safe across the board. I don't really, herbs that can be volatile, you know, in terms of what they do this or that. I generally stay away from them, and especially in teaching.
Okay, thank you.
And especially, like I said, because we're using whole plants, you know, if they're just doing like certain extracts of certain things, excuse me, sometimes that can be a little bit different.
Right.
Amelia, what's your moon sign?
Oh, girl. My moon is Virgo.
Why, why do you say that? Why do you say it like that?
It's just it's just a struggle. It's just I need if anyone else knows any Virgo moons, we need to start like a support
mother is a
group or
Virgo moon.
something.
But my
Okay.
no, he's not. He's a Capricorn. Yeah, actually, I
But-
don't know. I would say I probably know the fewest Virgo moons out of any other moon sign.
Yeah. It's
That's
probably
very
because they're
earthy. What's your ascendant? Not to tell your
My
business in
ass-
everybody. You can all share.
my ascendant is like my life. It like I'm so thankful for it. I'm a Leo rising.
I knew it. As soon as you said it to your light, I was like, she's a Leo.
Yeah, I'm thankful for my Leo energy.
Oh my gosh. I had like 3 years where I swear every single person I met had a damn Leo ascendant. I was like, oh my gosh, leave me alone.
Wow. What's your rising?
Pisces.
Pisces. Ooh, I freaking love Pisces. You have the best. You got Sagittarius, you got Pisces.
Cat moon. I'm pretty into my top 3. They're the Capricorn moon. It just like keeps me tethered to the ground because I have a lot of
Yeah.
water. I could just flow away, float. Float.
I love it.
Capricorn moon made it where no matter how crazy I was, I always at least handled my shit.
Yes.
Nobody knew where I was, but they somewhere knew, but they're taken care of.
Yeah, but you got it figured out. The Capricorn energy is the best. I work at a mental hospital. I'm always asking my patients, I'm like, do you know your top 3? And they're just like, what the hell? Like,
That's how I would be. All right, I think we're back. Okay, here's the fun part. All right, so everyone has the same herbs and we can all just do the same things. But that's boring. So I want you to think, we talked about the different affinities for these different herbs. With our heart medicine, do we also need some more mental clarity? Do we want to help against cognitive delay as we age? Do we want to deal with grief and heartbreak and heal the energetics of our heart as much as the strength and vigor of our spirit? Or do we want to go to the womb to kind of help with our PMS, help with our emotional disturbances around our hormones? So what are your goals for making heart medicine? Everyone came into this class with their own like agenda, with their own thing they wanted to do. So take a moment and just write down what your goals are, and you can type it in the chat as well. And what organs do you want that we discussed? Do you want to kind of focus on alongside of the heart? All of the above, heart and kidneys. Oh, oopsies. Okay, we got heart and kidneys, the womb. So when we say the womb, is it to deal with like period problems, hormones, or part of like healing heartbreak, grief, removing past lovers from our womb, all these different things? To me, clearing my heart, clearing my womb, you getting out of here. No more energy. Like which part of the womb care is it? Right? Right though, I feel that. I rebuke. I feel that. Heart, kidney, brain. My memory isn't as good as it used to be. Womb to deal with the emotional stuff, which I believe is included in the PCOS. Yes, okay. That's almost everybody. And the kidneys and grief in the heart. All right, so you can just say it out loud so we can process together. Heart, lungs, and womb, deep trauma and emotional grief. Okay, so which herbs that we have, you can have them all in front of you. Which herbs, nobody's trying to have aphrodisiac, how cute. All right, so for the womb, Which ones do we have here that said it had an affinity for the womb? My surrounding people are grumps, so I also want to throw some. Yeah. Rose, yes, rose was for the womb. What else? Damiana, yes, helps with the kidney and the urinary, and motherwort, yes. Okay. Trying to find my pen. Motherwort. Okay, so when we do a tea blend in the course, we talk about blending the teas. We talk about what our goals are. So write down like just 3 words for whatever, and you can do this like in your journal. You don't have to type it in there. The 3 things you're trying to, your goals for making this medicine, right? Whatever you typed in the chat, just write that down. 3. Okay. So then you'll want to list the tonic. So which 2 would you say were the most tonic for the heart of the 6 herbs we went over? You can type it or say it, it doesn't matter. The most cardiac protective heart tonics. Which ones? Hawthorn, yes. Hawthorn is a tonic. Which other one? Which one was bypass in a bottle, which is a motherwort? Yes, so those are the tonics. And then you'll list one of the other things that you guys are going for. So mine is an open heart. So I want to like keep my heart open energetically. So I'm going to list the herbs that we have here that would speak to the open heart, but you go with whatever, whether it was the womb, you'll list the herbs you have for the womb. Okay. And then your last thing, you'll list whatever herb we have here that speaks to that. Mine is more like hormone support, womb hormone support. So I would choose motherwort. You're gonna see my chicken scratch, but it looks kind of like this. So I have my hormone support is motherwort. My tonic is, the tonic herbs are hawthorn and motherwort. And for my open heart, I have rose or lemon balm. Okay, so you list the 3 things you're working on and the herbs that we have that could fit under that category. Does that make sense? So do that and then give me a thumbs up when you've got that.
The ones that are best for emotional stuff was rose and lemon balm and motherwort, right?
Yes.
Okay.
So give me a thumbs up when you have that. So once you do that, look and see if there are any multiples, right? So if one herb is listed more than once, circle that herb. Whichever one is circled, you definitely are going to put into your mixture. Mine was motherwort for sure.
Can I ask a question?
Always.
I'm having trouble with the memory one. So I know I only put lemon balm. I don't know what else to put. And I think it's also because I'm looking for it in my notes, but I don't remember what you said. So I
Ginkgo.
think
Yes, Michael, you're right. Ginkgo for the
Ginkgo.
brain,
Okay.
cognitive function, memory.
You said put 3 plants for each or
No, just whichever ones. You know how we do the tea blending in the course? It's similar to that. So you list your main goals. I know I always spell it wrong like that too. You put your 3 main goals and then the herbs that fit under each of those categories. And then you see which ones are, written more than once. You add that and then you decide which other ones you want from the other categories. You know what I'm talking about?
yes. Got it. Fuck, do I?
Okay, so let me move these things. I don't know which ones. All right, so here are just some things that we can make for this. I love making these elixirs. You can call them a syrup, whatever the heck you want to call it. I don't really care. I call it an elixir because it's just got more body than just a regular syrup. So the measurements for this is 1/3 tincture, 1/3 honey, and 1/3 decoction. So a tincture is with the alcohol, okay? The honey obviously is with the honey. A decoction is the herbs kind of come into a thicker, more concentrated than just like an infused tea. So we would have them simmer for about 20 minutes or so to create just a much more concentrated tea, for lack of better words, okay? And then same thing, if you don't want to use the alcohol or if you want to use this a little bit faster, you can do just 1 cup decoction and then 1/2 cup of honey and create syrup, or sugar. I don't using white sugar is counterintuitive to do anything for like healing for me, but you do you can try whatever feels good for you. Okay, so get your jars and we'll see. So tell me some of the recipes you came up with, like the 3-4 herbs you're going to use for the different issues. I wish there was an easier way other than just this chat for you guys to tell me, but I guess that could work. Can you guys see it as a gallery or is it just me? Okay, good. Okay, so I'll do mine first to give you an example and then you guys can talk it out. And if you guys had it confused or wrong, that's fine. We're playing around. So I wanted something for an open heart to calm my spirit and with a dash of hormone support. I chose hawthorn, motherwort, and rose. Miranda, what would you choose? Do you go by that or do you go by Miri, which is your handle on Instagram?
Usually Miranda, the nickname is Mir.
Mir, okay.
Yeah. I chose rose, damiana, and ginkgo.
Okay. Haley, what'd you choose?
So I'm trying to do something for like open-heartedness and emotions as well as womb and lungs. So I did the rose, motherwort, and hawthorn, but I also added lemon balm because I wanted to do 4.
Michael, yours are the same? Motherwort, hawthorn, and rose? What about you, Amelia?
I did motherwort, lemon balm, and rose.
That'd be a nice tea. Stephen?
I chose hawthorn, motherwort, and damiana.
Oh, I see it. I see it right here. Sorry.
Mm.
Macon? What are your herbs?
I think I'm gonna go with motherwort, hawthorn, and lemon balm.
Steph? Don't overthink it. Don't overthink it.
I know, I always do this. I think I'm gonna do ginkgo, damiana, lemon balm, and motherwort.
Final answer?
Yep.
All right. So we have to remember this is patient's medicine. This is slow medicine. Anything we start as a tincture today will not be ready today. Okay. So have your recipes ready. And what I advise, we're going to make them right now. But say you're using, and if you don't already have, if you have more of these herbs, go big. But if you're only using what I sent you, and you're going to use the decoction part, so you're going to do the water base, save some for that part of the process, okay? Save that for when it's time to decoct the herbs, okay? I'm personally not going to use the some of them for water. I'm going to make a hawthorn tincture for my mother. She's been having kidney and heart problems, and I think hawthorn would be exactly what she needs over time. And I think I could get her to take it as a tincture. So all of these herbs can be made into the alcohol-based tincture. And then and they can also be made into, I wouldn't do the hawthorns in the honey because they're already dried, fresh hawthorns maybe. So then you can decide which ones you want in your honey base and which ones you want in your alcohol base. Okay, so for me, if I'm going to do rose and lemon balm, I absolutely want them in a honey because they're going to make it taste so good. Lemon balm honey is like, any mint in a honey is like a luxury of life, I think. And so I would use that for honey because then you're going to have that extra flavor. That's why I recommended vodka. Mike and I talked about this, what kind of alcohol to get for tinctures. I prefer vodka because you really get the taste of the plant. And I enjoy that. I enjoy that like full body understanding of what the plants are doing. I'm also a simples gal, so we're gonna do them one at a time and then mix. So then you'll make 1/3 this, 1/3 that, and play around. And then sometimes you want to add a little bit more honey, that's fine. The key is you don't have more water. You want at least 1/3 of it to be alcohol, whatever you create, then it has shelf stable. If you have half water and just a little bit of alcohol, it's gonna go to crap real fast, okay? So get your herbs. Let me see what y'all wrote, okay? And let's make the tincture. I only have these big jars. I ran out of baby food jars, which is not completely ideal. Let me use my With Rain and Shine. Okay, does everyone have their alcohol? Okay, so however much of whatever you're going to do, just put it in the jar. So cute. Now, we can, with fresh plants, you would fill up significantly more. Like these, I can't show because it's not on my computer, but like it's like a big bowl of leaves comes down to like this tiny little bag once you grind it up, right? And with fresh plants, it's even more so because of the water content. So if you're doing like a fresh tincture, which I tincture my plants, my herbs fresh as often as possible, the water content isn't as bad when you use the alcohol. Oils, you wouldn't do that because oil and water do not mix. It would go rancid. And honey, I do it with honey. I do it with vinegar too. I just don't do it with oil. But that's because I break rules. We already said I'm a Sagittarius. So, but with a fresh plant, you would fill it significantly higher. You would like fill it up all the way to here and put the alcohol over it. But with like dried, you do half of the herb and then half with the alcohol. So here is the herb. I'm gonna do about half of that with the alcohol. Does that make sense? That's hawthorn. Oh my gosh.
You said, I'm sorry, you said you're making a hawthorn tincture for your mom, for her kidneys and her heart. My mom has the exact same problem right now. And
Yeah, because they're connected. She was telling my mom's been having all these weird ass problems, and I was like, what? And I was like, I have to study what's wrong with you. I don't understand. But because honestly, a lot of my mom's problems started as urinary problems. She just kept having these UTIs, and I was like, I'm not, something's missing.
she's been asking me to make her something. I've been giving her a lot of cat claw. To kind of like, I thought maybe she just had to use, like maybe she was building up to get a UTI again or something. So I wanted to like just flush her out, but it's not changing anything. So I got a bunch of hawthorn, and I honestly forgot until I got these that I had hawthorn. And I remember I messaged you about it, like which one you thought was better.
I was
And
wondering who's that. I was like, who messaged me about that forever ago?
I did a whole bunch of research on it, and they essentially do the same exact thing. But I ended up going with the berries. I think the leaves or whatever, everything else was sold out anyway. But so it would be best as a tincture then. Could she have it as a tea? Would it give some kind of relief more immediately if she had it in a tea?
Hawthorn's not going to be an immediate plant.
You did say that, right? Okay.
But it will have benefit.
Okay. Okay. What do you think would be more immediate?
I always say tincture stronger.
Okay. Okay. I'm gonna do that. Okay, thank you.
Because if I'm not a medical expert and I can't speak on any of your mother's health issues, but I know my mom's, I personally believe her kidney and her urinary tract issues are secondary to her heart problem. Whether she'll take it, we're working on it.
I can 100% agree with that. I
She
think
keeps
it-
calling me to help her out with stuff at the house. I feel like if I keep going, at some point, she'll take what I give her.
Mhm.
Fingers crossed, toes crossed. I'm gonna braid my hair. Okay, what have we made? What have we got?
Are we just putting one herb per jar, right?
One herb per jar. Yes.
Okay.
Then we mix later. I think simples are super important because you can get the flavor, you see how it feels, know the dosage of it exactly, and then mix it with other things. I think it's so much safer. People blend all together and everyone has their own method. I'm definitely a simples folk medicine girl, and then I mix after. And then plus now you have hawthorn tincture you can use in multiple different things. I want to use it in this blend that I'm going to create, but I'm going to give my mom just straight hawthorn. You know what I mean?
Can you talk about the honey preparation?
Yes, that's what I was getting ready to do. So I have to be careful. In our course, I made a honey infusion in my tea, and it's got on my computer, and my tea still sticks to this day. So I don't do it over my computer anymore. But so same thing as with the alcohol. I'm doing mine with rose and lemon balm. Let me put it in so I can.
But separate or together?
I'm putting them in together for my honey. So I'll be honest, that's when I don't necessarily do simples. I really like to play with. Okay, but if you're doing rose, just take a second and just, whew, nature is so good, y'all.
So for your rose and lemon balm, you're not gonna put alcohol, you're gonna put honey?
Mm-hmm.
I'll do the same.
You can make a tincture of both of them though, if you want, if that's how you want. I want to do it for honey because I want the flavor.
Okay, I'll do the honey. I'm just gonna copy whatever you do.
The method works for all the things though. Okay, so.
And how much honey are you putting?
I know, I was thinking I didn't do the right jar.
Oh my
About the same, because you can't see.
Like 200 milliliters?
About like double the same amount. The thing with honey though, it's thick. You're gonna have to move it around, get a chopstick, get it in. You're gonna have to mess with it every day. That's why you're gonna keep them somewhere where you can see them.
So double the amount of herbs, you said?
Mhm.
Okay.
I don't know if you can see that. I don't have a chopstick. I'm about to use a pen.
What would ginkgo go best with?
I would do tincture or
So-
tea. I wouldn't do honey. So either
What is-
alcohol based or water based.
It has to sit, just to verify, it's got to sit the same amount of time with water, right?
No, the water you'll do last. So keep a little bit for 6 weeks, 4 to 6 weeks from now.
Okay.
You'll have to mix and play with the honey. And then you'll have to, oops, I'm throwing stuff away. Then you'll really have to play with it to decant it as well when you're straining. It's fun to play with honey. Then you get to lick it off your fingers and make a mess. That's that good herbal medicine fun. So what are you putting in your honey? Or what are you putting your honey in either way? I see you guys with your honey. Which ones are you doing?
The same as you. I'm doing lemon balm and rose.
It's gonna be so good. We're gonna be a bunch of hard open ass bitches.
Can I put the motherwort in with the lemon balm and rose?
Yeah. I think water, because it's going to get some of the water soluble constituents through the honey.
Okay.
But I would also save some for either the alcohol or the decoction just to get maximum benefit of that plant.
Okay, because I put hawthorn, ginkgo, and daminia in with the alcohol. And then I put the lemon balm and rose in with honey. What should I do with the motherwort? Put half and half?
Yeah, I mean, you have to, what is it asking you to do?
I don't know. I feel like I need to put it in with the rose.
Then put it in with the rose. You got to come to one of the tea parties where you're not allowed to overthink anything and you have to just go with what your gut says.
Oh
The
gosh,
science is
I'm
super
so-
fun and it's super important, but being able to like trust your gut with plants, I think is super important too. And then you have the science to make sure you're not going to like poison yourself. You know?
What is motherwort best in?
Okay, so let's think about motherwort, right? I'm gonna pull out. So it has alkaloids, volatile oils, right? So we'd want to either extract those constituents through water or alcohol best. Now, if you have fresh motherwort leaves in vinegar, it's great for extracting minerals, but dried, either alcohol or water.
I've got this. That's the only herb here that ¿cómo se dice? Damiana. Those are the only two I've never worked with, but I wanted to. I don't know what there's like to do with motherwort, but I'm excited.
Now it's be very sure while we're all sitting here, label it and put the date. So here, I'm gonna cross out my other label. I'm gonna put motherwort vodka 215. Oh my gosh. Vodka 215. Because you'll think you'll remember and you will not. 4 or 6 weeks, you've moved on with your life. Ooh, that honey smells delicious. I don't have lids for any of mine. I have to like dig through my house or my lid jar. But you'll put your lids on it and you'll want to keep them in a place that you can shake them every day, or at least every other day. Especially with the honey, you might need to take your little chopstick or whatever to help make sure it's getting its self nice and mixed up.
Can I look at the honey that you just made? I just want to see the consistency. Oh, I forgot. Okay. Okay, cool. Thanks.
What's in there, Haley?
It's rose and lemon balm honey. I also made a lemon balm and a rose tincture, as well as a motherwort tincture.
So then what you get to do is in a few weeks, you get to decide how you want to blend them together, right? What you want to get for its water soluble benefits. Do you want to do motherwort, which would be a different type of bitter flavor that would go in and mix with it? Or do you want it to be, now that I'm thinking about this, I might do Damiana as my water-based. With the rest of my lemon balm. I think that'll taste really nice. And so
When you say water-based, you're talking about
that's the decoction. But you'll do that last because you will add it once the others are finished.
Right. Okay, cool.
Yours is going to be a lot like the heart elixir one that I made before. It had motherwort and hawthorn. I don't remember the herbs that were in the honey exactly. But this is the base. It's going to be really nice.
Katie, for my lemon balm honey, I covered it, like I doubled it, but I'm out of honey, but it seems pretty dry and like pasty. Should I just get more honey tomorrow and like?
Add more. Now you can play, you can try adding a little bit of the vodka to it. It's kind of an elixir of its own. And you'll still get some of that you'll extract the water soluble as well as the alcohol soluble. You can play with that as well. And then later when you put it all together, if you want it a little sweeter, add just some extra honey.
Yeah, this makes it more workable.
Yeah.
My lemon balm in my garden is just starting to peak back up, which is exciting.
I know, mine too, little baby leaves. I was sometimes like, yes. They're starting to come back a little bit. It was so warm here today, so I don't know. I don't know. I feel like we're probably gonna get some weird cold snap again, but you guys all look so cute making all your stuff.
How is the strain? I've never worked with honey. Like, what's the straining process like?
I use a pretty fine like sieve, and it's just real slow. Kind of the way you're working it right now. I just like take a spoon and work it. It drains a little bit and then work it. It's definitely another patient's medicine type of.
For the rose, could you just keep the petals in there and like?
You can, absolutely. I just speak from my personal, like, I don't like salves that have plant material in them or anything that like, it bothers me texture wise, but it wouldn't hurt at all.
I have a question.
Yeah,
I could ask a million at this point, but
I'm here for all of them.
so I don't know why I'm like having troubles processing this, but so once these are done, then we make the elixir mixture, right? With the
So these you'll have sit for 4 to 6 weeks. Then when you feel like you've got them good, you will make your water base. So say I'm using this much herb, I'll put like I don't know how much. I put like 2 cups of water and I let it, they're leaves. So I would make it a very like gentle heat. I wouldn't have it boil like a rolling boil, just a very gentle heat. And then let it kind of reduce for about 20 minutes or so, and then steep for a while till it cools, then strain that, and then you would blend them together 1/3 of each. So like it would be we'll say we're doing a cup, 1/3 of the honey, 1/3 of the tincture, and 1/3 of the decoction, which is this in the water. And then you guys all got the dropper bottles. And so you would just put it in there and take it a dropper full a day. These herbs are generally safe. So then you have your little heart medicine. And you know, you can get fun with it, put your intentions into it, whatever label you put on it, you know, name it something that feels resonant for what you're working with. And then you've been able to extract multiple different constituents from the plants because you're using multiple different solvents. Does that clarify some of that for you?
Yes, that makes so much sense. Thank you.
And if it doesn't, ask more questions and I can try and find a better way to make it make sense. Looks good, Haley. I gotta arch my neck, but it looks good. Did you put the date? Good. So these will be, we'll say we go with 4 weeks. By the equinox, this will be your spring medicine, spring heart medicine. I'll remember and I'll tag you so you can post pictures. We can all be open-hearted and loving. All right, let me know where you're at. And if anybody's had any time to think about how they would describe their heart, this could be a fun, as we're finishing up.
Isn't there a connection with motherwort and Leo?
Well, it's a little Leonardus cardiacus, so it's like the lion.
Mhm.
And you know, it's vibrant in the summer.
It's the full moon in Leo now.
Oh my gosh, yes, and we all use motherwort. Look at you. Yes, connections. I love that. Yes. It's also a semi-evergreen too. I know my leaves have maintained all year. They stayed low to the ground. I'll also have a pretty mild winter, so.
It's too cold here.
Yeah. But depending on your temperature and stuff, it can be an evergreen. All right. It's about time. Our 2 hours are up. How is everyone feeling? Oh, Michael, okay. 1/3 tincture, 1/3 honey mixture, 1/3 water base. Yes. I can send you more. I have so many motherwort plants coming. It's about to be a primary product from Katie's garden?
Do they grow like mugwort? Do they?
No, they don't. They don't. So my experience, we had motherwort growing somewhere and then it like disappeared, it died. But like 25 feet away, 2 other plants popped up. So I don't
Really?
know about that. I have not had my motherwort spread the same way. The only plant I've ever had spread the way mugwort does is a nettle.
Hmm.
But it comes back every year. Like sometimes it doesn't even fully die back.
Okay.
And it just grows so beautifully every year.
I think I have the seeds. I can't remember. I think it was motherwort.
All right, who wants to share their final simples before we go our own ways? Stephen, you seem finished. What do you have? Let's see. I can't hear you.
I forgot. You can't hear me. This is motherwort tincture, Damiana, and hawthorn. And the rose and lemon balm honey sounded too good, so I did that as well.
Thanks. I like how we all did the same thing. We're so cute. Love us. Who's next? Thank you.
Okay, I go. I have hawthorn and rose and lemon balm in honey and motherwort. I only have big jars, so
I know, me too. I ran out of my small ones. They're full. They're all full of stuff. I have to decant some things. It's coming up. They've definitely been in there about 6 weeks or
Right.
8 or 10 at this point. Stephanie, what you got?
I've got motherwort alcohol. And I have a thing with color in it. I don't know if, I'm sure there's something connected to it. But I always choose a color for every herb. I did ginkgo alcohol. I did hawthorn alcohol. And I did a really, really, really big jar of lemon balm. Honey, I think I need to change it to a bigger jar and add more honey. I am not-
Stephanie's the honey queen, y'all. She'll bring out like, which honey should I use? I've got this honey and I've got this honey and I've got this honey.
I fucking love honey so much. They used to make fun of me in elementary school because everybody would have ham and cheese sandwiches and I'd be like, I have a honey sandwich.
If nothing else, you're consistent.
Yeah. And I'm gonna use the Damiana as a decoction. So it's just chill it in a jar for now.
Nice. Macon?
So I'm kind of an overachiever. I just made tincture of everything because I have a lot of herbs and I can get more. So I figured I would do the decoction part later. So I have the motherwort in vodka, the hawthorn in vodka, ginkgo in vodka, and damiana. So I'm gonna do a fun, like using all 6 to do one blend is motherwort, hawthorn, lemon balm, and another one would be damiana, ginkgo, and rose. So then I have rose, honey with a splash of vodka to maybe shake it up better. And then I do a merlot, but this is lemon balm, honey with a splash of vodka as well.
Nice. When's your birthday? I should know this. I feel like we went over this in the sadhana, but I can't remember it, which is I always remember birthdays, not names. It's weird.
It's January 31st.
Aquarius. I didn't know that. Happy birthday.
You, Virgo rising and Gemini moon.
Gemini moon. Aquarius,
There.
Virgo. Oh, of course, you're a mental overachiever. When's your baby? So you said June or July. When was she born?
She was born right at the solar eclipse in Gemini on June 11th. So she's Gemini, Moon, Sun, and Aquarius rising. So all air.
How cute. Miranda?
So I made 2 tinctures, one with ginkgo and lemon balm, and one with just with rose. And then in honey, I put lemon balm and Damiana.
And Amelia?
I'm having too much fun swirling this around, but I did hawthorn with vodka and ginkgo, and Damiana with vodka. Am I saying that right?
Mhm.
Damiana. I think I'm gonna name my firstborn that.
Heard it here, y'all.
And then
You heard it.
and then I did a tincture with I did the honey and the rose and the lemon balm and a little bit of motherwort. But I forgot to save herbs left over for the water base.
That's okay. You can just do the 2 and just do half and half. It'll be fine. And if you get more
Okay.
herbs, you can do that for the
Is there a way, like, could I combine the hawthorn, the ginkgo, and the Damiana?
What do you mean?
Like, could I do like split it in between the 3 and combine them into one?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, for sure. Sorry, I was
That wasn't a really good question.
well, I wasn't sure how we were combining them. I was like, do you mean like now? Do you mean later? Like, what? But yeah, you can do like each a little bit of each for that part of the final product. Yes, because that's what.
Okay.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Who didn't go, Haley?
I made the motherwort tincture, the lemon balm tincture, as well as a rose tincture. And then I did the lemon balm and rose with honey. I also just split second decided to make a cinnamon honey. So that'll be fun.
One of my favorite honeys I made was a spiced honey, just with like ginger and cinnamon and all of them. Yes.
That sounds good.
Yeah. All right, y'all. Do you have any questions, concerns, thoughts, anything before we close? Y'all good? You feel good about it?
Thank you.
Awesome. This was so fun. Thank you. And I want to see what y'all did and how it goes. So if you post on the gram, please tag me or at least send it to me. All right. Thank you. There'll be a replay sent out as well. Have a great night.
Thanks,
Thank
Katie.
you, you too.